Do you know what Numero Uno pizza is? Not Pizzeria Uno in Chicago. Numero Uno pizza, Southern California, legendary, thick crust, gorgeous. I mean, yeah, this one's missing a piece. Oh, gee, I wonder why. I'm not allowed to swear in the first 30 seconds of this, so how long's it been? Anyways, this is amazing, and it makes me want to say naughty words, because those are the only words that seem to even begin to encompass how amazing this is. We are smidge off on the sugar content. This needs to be maybe a smidge sweeter, but it's so close. It is. I'm gonna show you everything. I'm gonna go through it all. I'm gonna show you how to make this pizza, because if you've been craving Numero Uno pizza, not Pizzeria Uno, completely different. If you've been craving this pizza, you are gonna watch it. You have to watch this video. Watch the video. Let's get started making this thing now. The first thing you have to know about Numero Uno pizza is the pizza dough. Their dough is very unique. It's very sweet. Think of it like pizza on a Hawaiian roll sort of thing. It's got a nice structure to it and that wonderful crispy crust that's like fried in oil as it bakes in the giant pan. Oh man. Seriously, you have never had anything like this unless you've had this before. This is not Uno, Pizzeria Uno in Chicago or different locations. I think it's just Chicago. This is very different than that. This is Numero Uno, Southern California. So we are making that pizza right now. What does it take to make that pizza? A few strange ingredients. There's a lot of debate on what goes into this. I've done some research of my own. Some people think it's potato. Some people think it's cornmeal. If you call them, they'll tell you it's not cornmeal. But they have no idea because they get the dough frozen. How would they know it's in it? They're not going to give you any secrets. So I'm putting cornmeal in it because it is a common ingredient in a deep dish pizzas, similar type of pizzas. So we're going to use that, but not a ton of it. We've got 30 grams of that right here. We have 34 grams each of melted butter and olive oil. That is an officially, I believe, by the SAE standard, a crap ton of fat that goes in this. We have 25 grams of whole milk going in this. That's not a normal thing, but this dough is more like a bread with pizza on it. Don't think focaccia, because this is even softer than focaccia. This is a very different thing. That's why there's so much oil, but we have to add a little bit more protein here with the milk, which is going to give us more structure and those little bubbles like white bread sort of thing. That's a thing, I promise. Then we have, hold on to your socks here, folks, 55 grams of sugar. 55 grams of sugar. That's a quarter of a cup. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, it's a little bit more than a quarter of a cup, but 55 grams of that. We have 3 grams of instant yeast. That's about a teaspoon. And we have, let me see here, 6 grams of kosher or sea salt. I'm using the fine stuff, but since we're weighing it, it doesn't matter if you use coarse or fine. The weight's going to be the same. Now for flour, we've got, let's see, 430 grams of bread flour. 430 grams of bread flour. This makes one pizza, brother. One pizza. It's thick. 430. 300 grams of lukewarm water. You want it to be about 100 degrees, something like that. This is a pizza where you don't want to overheat it. You want to be able to control the rise because there's a lot of stuff going on here. So you don't really want to use super warm water. You want to keep this down. This is something where you might be able to get away with 90 degree water. Honestly, you need to watch your temperatures. We're going to proof this on the counter a little bit, let it rise for about an hour. Then it goes in the fridge. We'll get into that in a minute. But we got to make a pizza dough first. And if we don't do that, we ain't got no pizza. Okay, so we're going to be putting our flour into our mixer. Can you do this by hand? Sure. Can you walk from LA to New York? Sure. There's better ways to do it. So pick a better way. Mixer works great. Okay, we've got our cornmeal going in. Again, that was 30 grams. I have it written on a post-it note here because as I'm doing this, my brain is like, I know this recipe, but I'm going to forget this and be like, what was that again? All right, so there you go. We have our 55 grams of sugar. That's just granulated sugar. Do not use confectionery sugar for that. It has cornstarch in it. It'll throw the whole mix off. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, our yeast is going in. Now, the only thing left to do, put this down. We're going to start this thing doing a mixy mix, because mixy mix is good. Then we're going to start adding our wet ingredients to this, but we're going to wait for the salt just a little bit so that the yeast has a chance to kind of get a foothold in there. That will do that. So listen, let's start doing all this stuff. So I'm going to dump the milk in real fast. Again, milk is not something you're going to find in pizza dough. This is a really weird pizza dough. Okay, our water is going in. This is shooting for about, what, 65-ish, something like that, percent hydration. It's a fairly moist, sticky dough. The more fat, the softer and stickier your dough will get. This is an insane amount. If you're making like New Haven style, there's no oil in that pretty much whatsoever. That's why you get that really, really thin, wonderful, crisp crust. All right, oil. Going down. That's the oil and the butter together. Okay, this is making a really, really shaggy dough at this point. You just basically want to get this to kind of come together, but this at this point, it's considered slack. This is not forming a ball at all, a dough ball. It's just kind of squishing around. So this is about the point where we want to stop this, let this sit, let it hydrate, do that fun stuff, and then we're going to put the salt in, and then we're going to start making our dough. Hold on. Okay, so this is sat for about 15 minutes, and the dough has gone, and it's all happy. So we are ready to add the salt and give it the final mixing here and start kneading the dough, start tearing this thing, turning it into an actual pizza dough. Yeah, you can see this thing has really come together much better now. It's beautiful. That 15-minute rest really is important for this. If you don't do that, you're just going to have this sticky mess that just does not turn into a pizza. So yeah, just give it that 15 minutes. It's a great idea. Always works. Now we're just going to turn this up, this mixer to about 4 right now. Different mixers are different. They don't make this one anymore. So it doesn't really help you at all, does it? No. Sorry. Okay, this has been going for about 3 minutes, something like that. The dough is really starting to come together. It's barely sticking to the bowl. This is going to be perfect. So I'm going to crank the heat up. Just to speed up a little bit, keep cranking the heat up. It's not, don't heat the dough. What if you do? But we're going to just crank the speed up a little bit and get this thing flinging around, get it starting to knead itself. That's the great thing about the mixers. It'll do all the kneading for you. To some extent, there's still going to be a little bit of bench work. So I'm going to go to 8 on this thing now. This is doing a very good job of mixing this up, but it's sticking the bowl pretty good. So I like to add about half a tablespoon of flour at a time just to get it to release from the bowl. It makes it a lot easier to get out of the bowl. It doesn't really change it too much because this is a very wet, sticky dough. Okay. We've got about another 4 minutes of kneading at that higher speed. This thing is just starting to come together. She is a sticky dough at this point. We are going to just put a little bit of flour on here, not a ton because we don't want to change our ratios too much, but she's a little on the wet side, so it's okay. We can get away with this, having a little extra flour here. Okay, that there. Now, if you need to, you can use a little flour in here, and one of these guys, get in, get under it, get it out of here, get it onto the counter. She's quite a mess. She's a beautiful mess. All right, she is a beauty. We can get a few of these things out of here, this off of here, and we are going to start bringing this together in some sort of a dough real fast. Just start working this thing. Oh, this is pillowy soft. Normally when you're working with more sturdy dough, New York style, something like that, it's a pretty firm dough. This, I mean, you can just put your finger straight through it. This is a very soft dough. This is like white bread or something like that. This is not a traditional pizza dough feeling. Just a little bit more here because she's getting sticky on me. We're getting to the point where we're just about ready to form this thing up a little bit. We are going to do a couple of stretch and folds though. Get this thing going a little bit here. Okay, give that a turn, roll it a little bit. Just kind of pick it up, stretch it out, fold it in. Build a little bit of structure in here. If you don't build the structure in there, it really won't hold up all these toppings on top of this. You won't get all the beautiful bubbles inside of it. So this does help quite a bit, but she is sticky. That's okay, it's supposed to be sticky, but you just don't want it all right. That is looking beautiful. We have a bowl right here. It's got some olive oil in it so nothing sticks in here. I got a paper towel. I'm just gonna wipe this down, spread it around really, really good. We are going to pick up our dough, set her down, give it a quick boop, boop, boop. It's already got a lot of fat in it, but still, this will make it beautiful and lovely. We're gonna put some plastic wrap over the top of this. This is very airtight right now. This thing is breathing, eating, and pooping out carbon dioxide. Just a couple of pinpricks. Sharp paring knife, 4 pinpricks around it. It lets the pressure kind of equalize in there because this thing's gonna grow like crazy. We want that air to be able to go out and do what it wants to do. It just helps, but not so much that it's gonna let too much humidity or in or out or that kind of thing. Just 4 little pinpricks. Okay, our dough is gonna sit on the counter for about 1 hour at room temperature. Whatever your room is, that's the temperature. If you live in an ice box, this step does not apply to you. If you live without air conditioning in the Sahara Desert, this step does not apply to you. Don't let this thing get overheated, but you want to see it start to rise. When it starts to rise and gets not quite doubled in size, we're going to stick this in the fridge. 24 hours minimum, 48 is better. And then I'll come back and we'll talk about the rest. But yeah, you're going to let this thing sit and then chill, and then we'll be back. So what sauce goes on a Numero Uno pizza? Your guess is as good as mine. Oh, that's not true. I can guess probably a little bit better, slightly. I've done as much research as I can on this. There's a Pizza Makers forum where you can get all kinds of information, and there's a couple of pages of a thread there about Numero Uno pizza. One of the people that's been posting on there in the past year or so is a former employee. He says that there was a sauce when he was there, and this was a long time ago, and then they stopped using sauce. So the current pizza doesn't have sauce on it. It has the tomatoes on it, and the juice gets down there and the tomatoes are under it, and that's basically it for sauce. I don't know that that's entirely true. If you look at pictures, if you go to, there's still several locations that are open. If you go to Yelp or something like that and look at pictures of the pizza, it's really hard to tell if it's just the tomatoes you see or if there is a sauce. I can't see a discernible sauce, but from my recollection, and again, I'm probably older than the guy posting on there, there was some sort of sauce on it. And I remember it was thin, really, really thin, and very, very herby. So we are going to go with a thin herby sauce, which means we're not putting any paste in this. We're not doing anything else. I'm not using sauce. I'm using diced tomatoes. Right here. Diced tomatoes going in. We are going to, obviously I have a stick blender here. we're going to use a little bit of that. But before we do that, oh my God, there's a fly in this house. That's the first fly in 3 years I've seen in this house. There's no flies in this house. I don't know why. Okay, we are putting some basil in here. How much basil? Fair amount. This is an herby sauce, as I recall. So that's probably a teaspoon. Now we've got oregano. This is Greek oregano because I like Greek oregano. Use any oregano you want. Just use the actual oregano, not the stuff you told your parents was oregano when they found it in the baggie. Don't use that. It's a very different kind of day you're going to have. Okay, garlic. Garlic works great for this because we are not going to be cooking this sauce, so you can use this. If you have to cook it, garlic does not work. So I have maybe less than a teaspoon. I have some minced onions here, dried minced onions. This is going to sit for a few minutes and think about what it's about to do. So these are perfect for this. If you want to put actual onions in here, fine. We're going to mix this up anyways, but I like these because they're concentrated and they give it a little bit of extra. They have a tang to them. So I'm using it, and since everything else on this is sweet, a little bit of sugar. Now, how much sugar? What is that, half a teaspoon? There you go, just a smidge. These tomatoes, not sponsored, I bought these. These tomatoes right here are my favorite tomatoes. If you can find this brand right here, they are awesome. I've tried every brand out there in America and Europe. Not true. There's probably a few I haven't. But I've tried dozens of brands of tomatoes. Those are my favorite. Take that for what it's worth. Not much. All right, we're going to... Let's see what we got here. We got a little bit of stuff on the side. I hate that clinking sound. Oh my God, I hate that clinking sound. Do you hate it as bad as I do? What do we got? We have a very thin sauce here that is very herby. It's going to take a little bit for all the herbs to fully hydrate, which is good because we have about a half an hour before the pizza is going to be assembled. So this is perfect. Just set this in the fridge and we'll come back to it in a minute. But yeah, there's your sauce. Hopefully it's right. We'll find out together in a couple minutes. It could use a little salt. I tested it. There you go. That's it. Now it goes in the fridge. Our pizza dough has risen. This has sat in the fridge. It's only been 24 hours. 48 is better, but 24 will get it done, and it better because I'm eating Numero Uno pizza tonight. Hopefully it's stutter. Yeah. What? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Okay, that is an interesting smelling dough. That does not smell like a New York style pizza or a thin crust or a Neapolitan or anything. That is unique. That smells like a loaf of bread. All right, this right here is a 14-inch deep dish pan. We are going to be using this. This is well seasoned, as you can see. I don't know if you can. Obviously, it's no false bottom. You can see there, it's a real pan. It's not a magic trick here. All right, the magic is in how much, smooth. The magic is in how much oil you put in this. It's almost a quarter of a cup. It's an insane, ridiculous amount of oil. And we are gonna oil this thing down like crazy. Okay, I'm gonna grab a brush real fast. I'm gonna brush this around. All right, get the brush. Just brush the crap out of it. You wanna get this really good up the sides, around, a good coating. I mean, this is a healthy amount of olive oil. Pardon me, I was drinking the pizza sauce. It's really good. It's a really nice coating of olive oil. Okay, that is stupid amounts of olive oil. We have stupid amounts of wonderful dough here. This has to go in there. Say a prayer to the pizza gods. Try and get this sucker out of here cleanly. They like me. They really like me. Okay. We're going to form a really nice ring around this. So we're going to do like we do with a regular pizza dough. We're not going to touch the outside. We're just going to spread this with our hands, doing this gesture here. Don't worry about the center so much at the moment. We are just going to try to stretch this guy out, leaving that nice big fat ring around it because you want that big fat dough ring. Yeah, this guy's good. This is, I got no problems with this. It looks beautiful. If your dough is too cold, it will not want to stretch. It'll want to spring back. Just let it sit. Put a towel over this, let it sit 15 minutes, come back and keep shaping. If you can't get this to the outside and it's not nice and happy like this one's happy. But if you have a bubble, pop the bubble, because that bubble's really gonna, you don't want the bubbles that much in the dough area, in the ring. Okay, so just keep stretching, but leaving that beautiful ring around the outside. Best you can. The center kind of move out. A little bit of extra dough there. Okay, perfect. And we want this to kind of go up the sides a little because she's going to spring back slightly. That's a lot of talking. You know how to shape a pizza dough, right? If you don't, this probably isn't where you want to start. We are going to let this sit. That looks about perfect. It's not touching the sides. It's springing back on me, so I'm going to let this sit. We'll give it one more quick stretch right before we, are ready. But for now, this will get us where we need to be. This is going to sit for about 20 minutes or so, which is a step they do in the restaurant. They load the dough into the pans before you order it, and these sit around stacked up. And they rest, and then when it's ready, they pull them out, top them, throw them in the oven, boom. So there's a guy just loading pans and doing that, and that's part of the whole thing. It's part of the magic. Here you go. There you are. All right, I'm going to put a towel over this. Back in 1 second. 15 minutes. All right, we have gone a long way towards making this pizza, and it is time. This thing's been sitting and resting as it should, as it needs to. But this right here, that's perfect pizza dough. Look at this. She's climbed the walls a little bit. She's got a little pressure against the sides. I'm getting excited. I'm getting so excited. Seriously. Oh my God, I'm getting excited. So we have whole milk mozzarella right here. Low moisture whole milk mozzarella. We've got pepperoni. I've got some Italian sausage, or the Italian sausage. Or Italian sausage. I don't know which one. If it's yours, I guess it's Italian. But this is not hard cooked. It's probably still a little pink inside because this is going to bake in the oven, and I don't want it to get hard and nasty in the whole thing. But I don't want it raw because this goes under the cheese, and then you've got grease and everything in there, and I'm not sure that's the way Numero Uno did it. I haven't been able to figure that out. It doesn't seem like that was necessarily the way they did it with raw sausage. I can't imagine in California with the health codes they would allow that. So I par cooked it. Let's just put it that way. Par cooked it, stuck it in the fridge. Don't let that sit around for very long. I had to do that earlier today because it is not entirely cooked, and so it's kind of in a danger zone. That has to be eaten within a couple hours. Don't think you're going to do that a few days in advance. Okay, we have our sauce here. This has been sitting. It is delicious. It's amazing. You saw I put a little bit of extra salt in it at the end there. This is so good. And it's a really loose sauce. Again, we'll find out together. We're just going to sauce this dough here. Not a ton, so we're just going to do this, spread this out. This does not go up the sides. I'm going to be very gentle. That is, seriously, I made this entire bowl for that. That is as much sauce as I'm willing to put on this. I don't know if I'm wrong or not. If there's anybody who worked at Numero Uno that would know, let me know if I got that wrong. Comments. I love the comments. All right, next thing going on. Tomatoes. We've got some diced tomatoes here. Same can of Muir Glen diced tomatoes. This is going on now before the cheese, before the stuff. This goes in. It locks in underneath. This also adds to the sauce. So, okay. I'm not going to get my hands completely messy here. I will arrange this around, and I'm going to guess we're going to use the entire can. This is a 15-ounce can, 14-ounce can, whatever it takes. There is a ton of tomatoes on one of those pizzas. Yeah, the whole thing right there. So we drained that. You can see we got a little tomato juice right there. That's fantastic. Put a little Tabasco, a little vodka in that, and you didn't hear that from me. But you heard it from me. All right, we are going to try to arrange these so that they're somewhat dispersed. All right, that has a fairly decent dispersion on it right there. So we're going to actually throw down a layer of, we're throwing down a little bit right here. Not a ton. Oh, there's pepperoni that's going to go on top as well, but we're putting a little bit down here because it's the way. You'd put a little down in this. That's not a ton. There you go. So we have our Italian sausage. I'm going to put a little bit of cheese down, and then I'm going to put some more toppings on this thing. Put just a little bit of cheese here. Now this is oddly specific to one guy that worked at the El Toro Numero Uno, but he used to like to build a frico. What is a frico? You want to get your frico on because that is the cheese up against the pan and it burns and crisps and creates a frico. If you've had Detroit style pizza or Chicago pizza, you know what a frico is. We're going to dump our sausage in here. This is maybe 1/4 to 1/3 of a pound of sausage on this thing. Something like that. Maybe 3/8. There you go. That's looking pretty good. We've got some onions going down. White onion, yellow onion works great for this. If you want to use red onion, there's probably nothing wrong with that. We are just going to disperse this out as well. This is not big strips. These are smaller pieces because this should kind of blend in a little bit. So yeah, there we go. Sprinkling just a little bit. Okay, we're going down for the next layer of pepperoni, and this is the serious one here. We're going crazy with this guy. That looks pretty good. I have 3 extra pepperonis. Snack time. More cheese. More cheese. This is a cheesy pizza, folks. You got that, all that dough there. It's gonna really hold up really well to this. Towards the end, poor Maurice was circling the drain. I think they started skimping on some of the ingredients there. This is going to melt down beautifully and be absolutely glorious. All right, more pepper. That's what we were gonna do with the pepperonis. There you go. This is going in the oven. It's 475 for this thing. 475. You can do this in a regular oven. I do have my pizza stone in there because this pan is a flat bottom pan and you want this to have a really good crust on the bottom of it. It's gonna get crispy and crunchy and beautiful. So the pizza steel, did I say stone? Pizza steel is in there. It's been humming along 475 for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. It is really, really hot. This thing's ready to go. It's going in. It's going to take about 16 minutes or so to go and get perfect. That's a long 16 minutes for me, 2 seconds for you. See you back here in a minute for 2 seconds. Okay, folks. I don't know about you, but that really looks like a Numero Uno pizza to me. Now, the one thing that the guy on the pizza making forum said was that they would take this and run the juices, tip it, to run the juices down the sides. I thought that was a very interesting, novel way to deal with that and add that fun extra flavor. You can hear it because the tomatoes, they're gonna add juices. This is working great. I haven't done this trick before, so I really like that. Okay, cool. I'm gonna let this sit for a second. We're gonna carve this thing up. We're gonna taste the slice. You're gonna see, and then we're gonna be done. But you have to wait. Okay, I need new oven mitts. Oh my God. Seriously, I haven't had one of these pizzas in 20 years. That is exactly my memories of Numero Uno. Okay, but see, the thing is, this looks burnt. It is still soft because it has so much fat in this thing. It's basically a Hawaiian roll pizza. I'm really excited. She's free. You can get this under her. Oh. If you work there or you ever had one of these, you know exactly what that is. That is how they served it. They had the big, and you. Okay, I go way too much because at this moment, I'm at a loss for words. Me at a loss for words. I'm so excited. Okay, we got to cut this thing. There's a couple of options for cutting this thing. I don't know the specific tool they had for doing this. I don't have one. My pizza knife is way too big to do that. I'm wondering if this thing is pretty sharp. If I go boom with a wheel and go down, except this thing's thicker than the wheel, I could be in trouble here. I didn't want to have to do this, but I have the world's crappiest knife right here. I mean, this is literally like a $15 set from the 1970s. Old Homestead. This is my pizza knife. It's big enough, it's tall enough, and it works. It's good for nothing else, but this just might work. Cutting this in the pan is the way they did it. I would love to take it out and put it on the cutting board because this would be so much easier to do. But then how do we get it back in the pan? So we serve it in the pan. By the way, they never cleaned the pans. They used to bring them to your table. This Numero Uno, you didn't get this takeout. You went there. Yes, you used to eat pizza at pizza parlors. They were called pizza parlors because it was a parlor you ate pizza in. Anyways, you had to eat this there because in the pan, this thing is 10 times better. If you take this home in a box, might as well put you in a box. You're a moron. Okay. I'm procrastinating because the moment I try and cut this, if I do this wrong, I'm going to cry a little bit, and I don't want to because I am so excited. But I'm going to go in. This might be too much pizza for the pizza knife. It's possible. It's just too much pizza. Get these corners. I might have to use this guy because it's sharp. Oh yeah, that's actually working pretty good. All right, let me see if the wheel works because I'm just curious. So we gotta give it a quick that. Okay, the wheel works. Okay, but we still have the problem of the corners, so you have to come back, chop the corners with this. That's completely acceptable. We're good. Now we just have to quick bread of the pizza gods, and we got to extricate one of these. Oh my God. Do you see the the dough here? Okay, let's see. How's the bottom? How's the bottom? Did we get any nice development on the bottom? I haven't even seen it yet. Yeah, we do. We do. She's beauty. She's not quite as crispy as all that. This is the thing of beauty, folks. That is a Numero Uno pizza. And I am excited as hell to get to dig into this thing. The smells. Time machine. I'm going in. Hold on. Oh my God. Yeah. And that is I'm going to say right now, it needs to be sweeter. I don't, that was a quarter, 55 grams of sugar. Should have been 75. Needs to be a little sweeter. It's close. I mean, it's maybe 65. I might have to do a couple more of these to find out exactly, but it is darn close. Oh my God, it's darn close. Oh, it is. Oh, texture is perfect. Texture is perfect. The fat content in this is perfect. The cheese content in this is absolutely textbook perfect. Everything about it. You're looking at this. Oh, she is. The tomatoes have the. Oh, but slightly sweeter. I remember it's like, I could be wrong. It's been 20 years. But I would say 55 wasn't enough. I would go, I want to say 65 to 75, make it 70. Just cut it right in the middle. 70 grams of sugar, I think, would give you the sweetness to this, or a splash of honey, something like that. but it is so close. Oh my God. It's a smidge off. Slightly more, but this thing, it's already cooled down. Oh, it's still part of my hands. I have asbestos fingers. But it is, come on. If you know, you're looking at this going, oh yeah, that's it. I know. So adjust the dough slightly and you have yourself the perfect Numero Uno pizza. There you go. Oh, thanks to the comment section for throwing this in there, because I've been sitting on this pizza for a long time. I have made versions of this because, again, the guy that was cooking pizza there towards the end was doing with a full frico on the side. Cheese all the way to the side. And that was a crazy pizza. That was my favorite version of this because that is crazy. It's kind of like a Chicago-Detroit pizza. Oh, it's so good. But this is a traditional Numero Uno way, and now you know how to make it. And I thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and hit that thumbs up thing down there. And if you have not subscribed yet, which like 2/3 of the people watching these videos are not subscribed, so go ahead and subscribe and you'll get to see more stuff like this, because I'm gonna have to try another 15 grams of sugar and see if that's it. You'll have to come back to see if that's it. And when I do, I will see you then. Thanks for watching this one. Till next time, have a good one. Bye.